Hello, everyone, and welcome inside the bubble. This is our weekly Minnesota high school highlights show. I'm one of your hosts, Brandon Spratt, joined here by Matt Harrington. And Matt, good start here. We've had a lot of exciting girls hockey games this week.
We sure have. We've got some great matchups. Of course, we had Edina Andover. Also had Andover and Benilde St. Margaret. So lots of great action early on, Brandon.
Yeah, as Matt mentioned, we had the defending state champion Andover Huskies taking on Benilde St. Margaret's on opening night. Let's send it out to the St. Louis Park Rec Center for the highlights. And the Huskies got things started early out in St. Louis Park. As you see off the face-off here, Red Knights look to clear the puck, but they can't get it out. Eventually, it ends up near the slot here with Hannah Christensen, who you'll see right here gets the puck. She throws it toward the net, and it's tipped in. Nora Sauer with the shot. Hannah Christensen the tip, and the Huskies lead 1-0 early. And then just 5.5 minutes in, it was chance to make it 2-0. Red Knights try to clear the puck. Great play to hold it there. Not once, but twice. Look at the great play there by Berger to hold the zone. Getta lays it off, and Berger snaps a hard, heavy shot into the back of the net. 2-0 to the Huskies, and they would add 5 goals from there. Ella Berger finishes with 2 goals and 1 assist as the Huskies win 7-0.
Let's go to the Essentia Health Sports Center in Brainerd. The Brainerd Little Falls Warriors and the Buffalo Bison here. Brainerd Little Falls on the power play in the first period. Great puck movement here down low below the goal line as they continue to work it. And you'll see this beautiful feed in front. Macy Peterson putting it home for the power play goal. Then later on in the third period, as we'll take a look, big save made here. And then take a look at the quick puck movement here by the Bison to move it down the other end. And Avery Corbin will be the one to put this one home. That evened the game up at 1 early in the third period for Buffalo. And we'll go later in the third period here as well. Keep an eye on number 13, Macy Peterson, as well on the ice here in the high slot for Brainerd Little Falls, as she'll get the puck here, put it home for her second of the game. That would serve as the game winner as Brainerd Little Falls wins 2-1.
We send it out to Victoria at the Victoria Rec Center, affectionately known as the Vic. Holy Family opening their season. They'll take a long shot here, and it trickles through. Justina Valentini giving the Fire the lead. Then later, dynamic first-year forward Katya Sander falls and scores. What a goal there. And it is 2-0. They go on to win it by a score of 3-0.
Number 1 Andover taking on number 3 Edina to open the season. Take a look at this speed and the goal from the Andover Huskies. That was Ella Berger on the goal. That made it 1-0 Andover with 12:30 to go in the first. Then Edina trying to make things even here, but take a look at Courtney Stagman making a couple of big saves to keep this game at 1-0 in the first. In the second period now, Andover trying to get their second goal, and it's blown dead by the official just a bit too early. Tough break there for the Huskies, so we remain at 1-0. And we'll pick it up in the second period. Take a look at this puck work here on the blue line. Gettle drops it back for Madison Brown, who will laser this one home. Andover takes a 2-0 lead with 8:30 to go in the second period. Huskies on top again, 2-0 over Andover, looking strong. We'll see how the Hornets can do, but Andover, of course, back the other way. Take a look at this pass. Beautiful finish by Hannah Christensen on the feed from Courtney Little, and that would make it 3-0 Andover. That would be the final there.
We continue our journey around the state. Minnetonka hosting Elk River Zimmerman to start their season on Saturday. Elk River Zimmerman held on for a long time in this one. Big save by Addie Brandt with the left pillow to keep it 0-0 in the first period. Then this is in the second period. Minnetonka in the box a few times in this game, but they spring a breakaway. Lindsay Avar with the chance on the breakaway out of the box, but it's shut down again by Brandt. Then it's Elk River's turn. You see not many shots on goal for the Elks, but they get one in transition here. It's new starting goaltender Layla Hemp with the big save to keep us knotted at zeros. We go late into the second period, still no score. Tonka on the rush. This puck's going to come out to the high slot where Lauren Goldsworthy hits the twine to make it 1-0. Minnetonka on the board as we head to the third. Chance here in transition. It's a 3-on-2. Puck comes to Senja Leaper, who fires in, but another nice save by Brandt. Still 1-0. Watch this play here, though. Elks looking to get the puck out. Fantastic play by Lauren Carl to hold the zone. Watch this backhand dish. Beautiful from Distad. finds Grace Sedura and Ava Lindsay on the one-timer to make it 2-0. That one was pretty, and they'd make it 3-0 not long after. It's the third line coming up this time. Wait for it. Here we go. They wheel the puck out of the corner, and eventually it's on the tape of Ellie Zakrashek. She makes it 3-0. That's how it would finish. Minnetonka 3, Elk River Zimmerman 0.
Well, great game, Brandon, on both sides. We're going to step aside here on Inside the Bubble, and we'll be right back.
Your college experience begins with your dream. Your time at St. Cloud State will uniquely be your own, but your journey will be guided by our community. Be you. Be bold. Be a Husky.
Hazardous. It's a glass-shattering mix of innovation and instinct. No excuses. Just fire.
It's time now for the St. Cloud State University Player Spotlight, featuring players that make a difference on and off the ice in their community. This week, 2 girls hockey players from the Benilde St. Margaret's Red Knights are featured as senior captains Abby Garvin and Annie Junkness have grown up together attending school and playing hockey together. They epitomize friendship and teamwork in bringing the Red Knights together. Let's take a look.
You know, as we chat a little bit, I mean, we're super young this year. I mean, they're filling a void of a massive class that went out in the last year or two, and they've stepped up. They're growing, and their own personalities have blossomed.
She is an amazing person. She may not be the one like yelling at everyone and whatever, but she definitely leads by example. She works her butt off and does everything hockey related that you can even imagine. She's really determined, and she's just a really, really nice girl.
She always just is making sure everyone feels super welcome, and if anyone has problems or something, she always just puts them like first and making sure they're okay, and like making sure like everyone like is like okay before her like self. And she's just like such a sweet and like genuine person, and yeah, her personality is just super fun.
His leadership is the ability to influence.
You have an ability to show leadership, and it doesn't matter what grade you are, it doesn't matter who you are, it doesn't matter how good you are. You treat everyone equally, and you show that that's how you should be treating everyone. So in the younger grades, they can hopefully look up to me and be an advocate of leadership.
But thinking about the two of them, if I use Garvin as an example, she had the same experience here in soccer. So she had to kind of take a team, go through those young growing pains. She's going to be able to use that experience for us and help mold. And the thing with Abby is she's so genuine that kids just gravitate right to her. She doesn't have to be anything else than what she is by herself.
I feel like I learned a lot just over the past few years with just a lot of different captains and just players, and there was like some captains where I really looked up to them and you loved what they did with it, and just like I would say just the biggest thing is just making sure everyone feels super welcomed and a part of the team, and just making sure, especially with like a young team this season, making sure everyone feels like that welcome and like feels confident in themselves and like knows that they can come to either of us captains with anything they need, and just making sure they feel part of the team. So even just like saying hi to them in the hallways, I feel like goes a really long way, especially as like a 9th grader. And that was like something a few of the captains my freshman year really like did a great job of.
Annie's that one in the locker room that at the most stressful moment, she may be able to say something or just lighten that mood, or her own work ethic too. And that's both of them, but her own work ethic, they just work, just does the right thing.
Making them feel welcomed is the biggest thing. I think it can be scary coming in, being a freshman, even younger, and playing with 18-year-olds. So making them feel that they're welcomed and that they're kind of on the same playing field is really important.
They're probably more, I would say both of them are leaders by example, much more than that vocal leader, and they're becoming that too, obviously, but much more they're leaders by example.
I don't know, she talks like a lot and stuff like that, and I feel like I'm more of like a lead by example. Like I'm like more of a person that people who are like nervous and stuff can just like come up to her. She's just bringing that like fun, like super energetic thing. But I feel like both of that together just works super well, and I feel like we can both do both. But I feel like just the dynamic of like super like hot, like super fun and energetic, and just like lead by example just works really well.
Well, they've grown up, yeah. I mean, they talk about it all the time, so they know each other's own intricacies. They know their strengths and weaknesses. When I watch them delegate tasks, this one's doing this, that one's doing that. So it's a great pair for us as a program.
So much. I think the chemistry that we had, and not only playing hockey together since we were in 4th grade, but also having such a strong friendship, I think really helped bring the friendship that we have to everyone else. It kind of created a more of like, because we're not just all on the same team. We're all friends. We're all a family. So it helped a lot for sure.
I think it's just like created such like a strong like bond where we just like understand each other. We've been playing with each other since like U10s, so just like, and we've just been super great friends too. And I feel like we can just like communicate so easily and just like work together so well, and we just like understand each other. And I feel like our personalities just match super well, where we can just like create this like super fun and like positive environment for the whole entire team. And I just think the dynamic between the two of us is super good.
Gratitude, for sure. The fact that I'm lucky to be at such an amazing school, play such an amazing sport that I love, with people I love. I'm so lucky, and so gratitude for sure. I think perseverance, not everything, not just with hockey, but school too. Nothing's going to be easy. There's going to be a lot of ups, a lot of downs, but it's how good those good times are, or it's the bad times that really validate how good the good times are. So I think recognizing how lucky we are, and even for the bad times, we're still lucky.
I feel like just over the years, it's like definitely brought our relationship like closer. And I know like at like times, like just being friends outside, like now I would say we just always have been friends outside of hockey. And I feel like hockey's never really like affected our friendship like outside of like the rink. But I feel like it just honestly brought it, like our friendship closer together, just because like we would carpool with each other, just like being neighbors and stuff. So I feel like that just brought our relationship like stronger.
Championship teams have championship locker rooms. Fantastic place they want to be.
Your college experience begins with your dream. Your time at St. Cloud State will uniquely be your own, but your journey will be guided by our community. Be you. Be bold. Be a Husky.
What if there was a place where everything was hockey?
Finding the skate. Here comes Steves in on goal, all alone.
In Minnesota, there is.
Scores!
Randy Keppel led the Bloomington Jefferson Jaguars to a state title as a goaltender and is now leading the Holy Family Catholic Fire as its head coach. Our very own Pete Wagner sat down with Randy to discuss his bond with his ex-teammates that are on his coaching staff, his team, and his coaching philosophy.
Bloomington Jefferson Jaguars, you're on possibly the greatest team anybody could be a part of. How did those guys and that team shape your hockey life?
Well, it's funny, you know, because it's somewhat of the culture that we try to create here of you surround people with the same goals that you have. And on that Jefferson team, you know, everybody had a goal of whether it's playing Division I hockey or playing in the NHL. And what we were always taught, team success would bring that individual success. And we obviously had a lot of success with that team. You know, for multiple years through youth hockey and then through high school too, and it turned out really well for most of us. You know, moving on into colleges and obviously since a lot of guys have that team in the NHL. And the funny thing is, you know, I have two of my best friends here coaching with me. One, Corey Peterson and Dusty Anderson, who were, two of my D in front of me. They've helped me create the culture and what we're looking for. Everybody pushing for that same goal. We have 6 or 7 seniors that are going to play a significant role, our Division I players, and as of today, have signed their letter of intents. But there's also a really, really strong group of young kids. We have 14 freshmen that have come in this year, and there's just more talent in that level than we've seen here. I think the skill I think is easy to improve on. Obviously the skill's getting better and better, just like the boys. They're getting bigger, stronger, faster, the same as the girls. They're able to do a lot more things with their stick and shooting the puck harder. But what I see in the girls' game is, so many of the girls have transitioned into coaches now as well. I think the coaching is elevated throughout girls hockey, and these kids are learning how to play hockey. Even in high school hockey, you would see 1 or 2 kids that could just absolutely dominate. I don't know if we'll ever see that again. As good as kids are this day, it's just tough for an individual kid to be able to dominate anymore. So these kids need to know how to play hockey, and I think that's what's really elevated the girls' game. And they work. Girls get it done, man. They are perfectionists, and they ask question after question after question. But they work. They want it, and there's still so much room to grow in this game, which is going to be fun to watch.
Let's turn inward to your team. You guys each year you're so close, and you're in such a tough section. Can you talk about what it's like when you're that close and you're in those types of games, and how tough it is to let that go and then re-energize for the upcoming year?
Well, I don't know if you ever let it go, if you're any kind of a competitor. Truly this year, because we are teaching a lot more, where last year, because we had our whole team back last year. We didn't have a senior the year before, so we were able to jump right into, hey, what are we doing on face-offs? This. We're working on picking up back checks right now. We're working on getting in front of the goalie, screening, simple things.
Things you had taken for granted.
Yep, things we absolutely could take for granted last year, but now we're going back and some of the girls are kind of looking at me like, come on, man. There's an incredible amount of talent on this team. And when we get them going, which we'll get them going, and when we get our D zone cleaned up and our power play, we get, hopefully it's a team that nobody wants to play.
If you were to throw some fairy dust over a team, or let's say this team, what would you hope for to complete this puzzle to make it as close to a perfect team as you could have?
As in personnel, or
how they play, or what you need.
How they play. Well, I'd love to play lockdown defense. I think it's kind of a lost art in today's game, in the girls' game and the boys' game, and I think we probably focus more on the D zone here than just about any team around. But shoot, you play a lockdown defense and you got a good goalie, you're going to be right there in every game. Now, last year we opened it up a little bit more because we could. This year we'll be able to open it up too because we got the talent too. But these kids are students. They're forced here. They're forced at the school to be good students, and they're forced by me to be good students because I get their grades every Wednesday. And if they don't have, if they're not moving forward, they don't practice. But yeah, that's the best part, Wags. When these kids get their goals and their dreams, it's gets you.
Your college experience begins with your dream. Your time at St. Cloud State will uniquely be your own, but your journey will be guided by our community. Be you. Be bold. Be a Husky.
Hazardous. It's a glass-shattering mix of innovation and instinct. No excuses. Just fire.
Sniper's Edge Hockey is your one-stop shop for your at-home hockey training needs on and off the ice. Find the perfect start to your at-home training area with slick tiles, synthetic ice, or a rink liner. Or upgrade your home setup with one of our top-quality training tools to help you work on soft hands, all of your deeks and dangles, perfect your one-timer, and improve the power and accuracy of your shot. Find it all online and in stock for immediate shipping at snipersedgehockey.com.
All right, now let's take a look at our top 5 upcoming network games this week here on MN Hockey TV. These are all girls games, of course, since we don't have any boys hockey yet. But we'll start things out Tuesday night. Holy Family traveling to take on Wayzata in a West Metro battle. Then on Thursday night, Shakopee will head to Holy Family. And then on Friday, a good one, Class A versus Class AA, Duluth Marshall facing Edina at historic Braemar Arena. And then East Metro and West Metro on Saturday, Stillwater taking on Minnetonka as they travel to the Pagel Activity Center. And then also at 2 p.m. on Saturday, the Duluth Northern Stars will take on the Edina Hornets. Brandon, a lot of good games here. What stands out to you?
Yeah, a few things standing out. First, we start on Thursday, Shakopee Holy Family. That's a rematch from the section playoffs a year ago, an entertaining game there. Holy Family with some big losses. I think Shakopee has a chance in that one. Then I see that both Duluth schools, Marshall and Northern Stars, making their way down to Braemar next weekend. Good early season test for both squads against the Hornets. Obviously, always good. I'll be out at Pagel on Saturday, taking in Stillwater and Minnetonka. Should be a good one. Everybody knows about Minnetonka. Stillwater has some very high-end talent as well, so I'm excited to see that one on Saturday.
Absolutely, and of course, all these games available with your season pass right here on MN Hockey TV. Well, one of the great things we offer here at mnhockey.tv is our free Hockey Night in Minnesota broadcast. And this upcoming week, we've got a good one for you in Girls Class A. We're going to be heading up to Hermantown Arena as it will be the Proctor Hermantown Mirage hosting one of the all-time great programs in the South St. Paul Packers. Brandon, South St. Paul, always a very good team. And of course, Proctor Hermantown in our top 10. Great Class A matchup here.
It sure is. I mean, 2 state tournament teams last year. You mentioned South St. Paul and their long history with Dave Palmquist. Proctor Hermantown won a state title in 2021. They were the runner-ups in 2022, playing a really tough schedule to start the season. I'm really intrigued by this one, as you can see next Saturday, November 19th at 3:30 p.m. And Matt, I think you'll be up there on the call for that game.
I will be, and I'm certainly looking forward to it. It's going to be a great one. And of course, once again, you can find it for free right here on mnhockey.tv. It's time now to take a look at our Kare 11 top 11. Of course, throwing in the extra team play on the top 10, but we'll take a look here at our top 11 for the upcoming week. Crookston with a victory in their first game. They remain at number 11. Laverne Idle yet to play, so they remain at number 10. Mankato East also had a big win, so they stay at number 9. Just a minor change here. Duluth Marshall dropping 2 spots. They were at number 6 last week with the loss to Warroad. They fall to number 8. Simley remains at number 7 with a loss and a tie. Delano Rockford 2-0. They move up to number 6. Mountain West Tonka 1-1. They stay at number 5. Holy Angels Idle as well, so they stay at 4. And then Proctor Hermantown had the overtime loss to Warroad, but they do stay at number 3. Orono 1-0-1 stays at number 2. And of course, Warroad still number 1, Brandon, at 2-0. So just a couple of minor changes in there, but it's still very early. So we really don't know quite where everybody fits yet.
Very early, you're absolutely right. We're only 3 days into the girls' season. There's a couple areas I'm looking at. First of all, a great start for Delano Rockford, 2-0. I'd love to see them rewarded and moving up. Mound West Tonka, they go 1-1, playing a couple of AA schools, so those types of results are going to happen. Simley as well. Don't let the 0-1-1 fool you. They lose to a tough Rosemont team and then tie number 2 Orono. That's a big result. And then we saw Warroad, Proctor Hermantown go to overtime. We'll obviously be up in Proctor Hermantown to watch them play South St. Paul in our girls' game of the week. Also Saturday for your keep an eye on Warroad and Orono. They will play each other, number 1 and number 2 in the rankings, going head-to-head this week. But obviously Holy Angels will open their season as well. But some interesting results early, and it's looking like a great top 11.
All right, now we shift over to the AA side of things here in our Kare 11 top 11 for the girls for the upcoming week. Apple Valley is yet to play, but they do move into that number 11 spot. Rogers and Grand Rapids Greenway also yet to play, but they do remain at 10-9. Maple Grove with a win in their first game, so they stay at number 8. Stillwater 1-1 on the year at number 7. Gentry Academy with a win in their first game as well, so they will remain at number 6. Hill Murray 1-0, but their win was against number 7 Stillwater, so that's why they stay at the number 5 spot. Edina drops the spot down to number 4 after their loss to Andover on Saturday. Holy Family up to number 3 with a win over Eastview. Minnetonka takes care of business in their opening game against Elk River. They stay at number 2. And then, of course, Andover, 2 shutout wins to open the year against Benilde St. Margaret's and Edina. They're number 1, Brandon, and I don't think there's any disputing that they're the number 1 team right now.
Absolutely not. They've won 32 games in a row, I believe, going back to last year. Those top two will go head-to-head here, not this week, but the following week. So look for some potential movement there. Holy Family has a big week coming up. Both games on our network. They'll take on Wayzata and Shakopee. Exciting to see those results. Edina will get a trip from a couple teams up north, as you saw earlier in the show. They'll play Duluth and Duluth Marshall. So chance for the Hornets to get a few more games under their belts. Hill Murray and Stillwater and Gentry. Look at that. All 3 of those teams are in the same section, which makes it very interesting to sort through. Gentry got a big opening win against Blake, who I think is just kind of on the fringes of these top 11. We'll look for them to maybe pop in at some point. Maple Grove gets a nice win, and then we still have 3 somewhat unknowns at the bottom of our top 11, 3 teams yet to debut. I like to see Apple Valley popping in. They'll open with Bloomington Jefferson coming up on Tuesday. We know that the Eagles have some very high-end talent, and in a wide-open South Suburban Conference, it's kind of a power void, if you will. Who can maybe step up and try to be that dominant team in the South Suburban? So top 11 is looking great. And again, it's really exciting because we have a lot of these teams on our network. We'll continue to get to see them all year.
Absolutely. Going to be a fun one, and looking forward to seeing how these teams do in the upcoming week. Just a reminder, if you haven't heard, we also are hosting the Overtime podcast here on the MN Hockey TV network, and you can find us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and 11 other podcast hosting networks. We have guests from the high school hockey world, coaches, players, and more. And in addition to that, we also will have an emphasis on Minnesota pro sports, maybe a little bit of college sports in there as well. So again, check us out. You can find us Overtime Podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. The best way to stay informed with all the news for high school hockey and youth hockey is to follow us, of course, on our social medias at MN Hockey TV on Twitter, at MN Hockey TV on Instagram, and of course, by finding us on Facebook as well at mnhockey.tv. Well, thanks again, everybody, for joining us for our very first Inside the Bubble. We'll be back here next Sunday at 10 p.m. to recap our week. So for Brandon Spratt, I'm Matt Harrington. So long, everybody.
That one left a vapor trail. That's the end of the game.